In the Reading and Memory Test Battery, there are several aspects to managing the system. First, you can modify the player's database by clicking on the Select Player button. From this menu, you can add a new player, edit a currently selected player, or delete a player. In addition, the Transfer Data for Selected Player button can merge results from an imported player to the currently selected player. This current player settings will be overridden when you import player's data, but the test results will be merged. You can also click on the Import New Player button to import a new player from another computer. There are two ways to back up player data. You can back up a single player at a time by clicking on the name of a player, which will highlight it, and then selecting the Backup Selected Player button. The Backup All Players button will back up all the players displayed in the Select Player list into a single file. If you would like to restore any or all of the players that have been backed up, simply click on the Restore Players from Backup button. This feature will allow you to select which players you want to restore. To manage passwords, database storage locations, and player icon features, click on the System Utilities button. You can create an optional password that can be used to limit who can add and delete players as well as manage player data. This security feature is disabled by default, and it is recommended that you set a password after installing your software. Once this feature is activated, you will be required to enter a password before doing tasks such as adding and removing players or viewing player data. Be sure to write down the system password you create. If the system password is forgotten, the administrator will have to email techsupport@braintrain.com to get help. You can change where the player data is stored by clicking on the Change button. This will allow you to use the local computer's default Reading and Memory Test Data folder, or you can use a remote folder of your choice by entering the location or browsing for a location on another computer or network server. Multiple TNT testing systems can share a database on one computer or a network server. For more information about networking, it is recommended that you contact BrainTrain for technical support. Select the location where you would like the player's icons to be located. This location is a global setting for all player icons. By default, the location of the player's icons is set to a folder on your desktop called Reading and Memory Test Players folder. However, you can also put the icons directly on the desktop. To refresh an icon immediately, click on the Refresh Icons Now button. This will update the icons with any changes that have been made, including a new icon image or a new icon location. You can also choose to refresh the icons each time the software starts up by checking the corresponding box. When the database is shared and stored on another computer or server, then it is important to refresh the icons each time the program starts. By enabling this feature, players can use any computer. Checking the box next to Play Music at Startup enables a short tune to be played upon loading the software each time it is opened. In addition, there are 3 Backup on Exit options. Choosing Always will back up all player data every time the system is exited. Selecting Prompt will have a prompt box appear asking if you would like to back up the data for all players. You can then select Yes, No, or Cancel. Choosing Never means the player data will never be backed up automatically upon exiting the program. Select this option when the TNT players are saved on a shared database and this one database is backed up separately. If you need help with the Reading and Memory Test Battery at any time, you can use the Help button. Clicking on the arrow next to Help will display a list of specific documents that can be viewed. This list will change depending on the menu you are currently viewing. Simply clicking on the Help button will display the most context-relevant help document that you may need for the current part of the TNT Reading and Memory Test system you are viewing. This concludes the Reading and Memory Test Battery System Management video. The next video in this series is Tracking Progress in TNT Reading Pro.